too much alone time. Does that make sense?
I will rephrase it. I will say it's okay to be by yourself, alone. To me, alone is like,
If he's not okay, then I'm not okay, which means that my kids are not okay.
y'all been married for how long?
We've been together for 11 years.
You should have known.
Imagine that feeling, but with your favorite person. How much better would that be?
Oh, cool.
God,
Where's my Capri Sun? There it is.
Would you like a beer? I mean, a
Before the gym, or after the gym, actually.
sport beverage.
A sports beverage.
With my a lot of electrolytes on.
What episode is this? 7?
This is episode 7 with our first guest, by force.
By force, yes.
By force.
I know. I was suckered into it. She's like, "You're doing it." I was like, "Okay."
By marriage law, you are our first
That's exactly right.
guest. Who are you? You know, people don't know you.
So I'm Euriel. I'm Zuri's husband. That hopefully she always talks about, and everything good and nothing bad.
Yeah.
Obvious.
Yeah. Your name is mentioned.
Yes, I'm sure quite a bit. I hear. So I told Zuri, I was like, I don't listen to the podcast, and I feel bad because, you know, I'm the husband that she's always talking about, but I don't listen to it because I'm like, what is she saying about me? Like, you know, like is she
We should
talking
listen.
about? I know, right? That's the first step. Just listen to
There
it.
you go, yeah.
One thing I don't see this a lot, right? And we're going to counseling. All right.
Oh,
This is
my
counseling
goodness.
session. Why is it so important for you to help her achieve her goals? Because I don't see that a lot. I don't hear that a lot.
Why is it so important for me to help her achieve her goals?
Yeah, because this is a goal she's always wanted. She just came up to me one day. Well, I came up to her.
Yeah, no,
She's like,
absolutely.
I want to start a
You know,
podcast.
it's something that she's always talked about and that she's always mentioned to me on various occasions. And so, why is it important for me is, you know, obviously, I love her, right? And so I'm going to support her in anything that she wants to do. And not just that, but, you know, I don't want to be just that supportive husband, but, you know, I want to make her happy, you know? It's just like what, for example, like, hey, like on a weekend, like, babe, like where you can take me out to eat?
Yeah.
Wherever you want to choose, you get to choose. And a lot of the time she's like, no, you choose. And so it ends up like going back and forth, like we start, I'm not gonna say arguing, but it's like she'll say choose, no, you choose. And so I mentioned something and she's like, no, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
like, okay, well what about this? And she's like, no, I don't want that either. I was like, well, that's why I told you to pick.
Yeah.
So
you should have.
long
known.
story short,
You should just know.
exactly.
Right? If
So
you
long
just
story
know.
short,
You
yeah,
should
Y'all been
just
married
know.
for how long?
We've
what?
been together for 11 years.
You should have known.
Been married for 9.
9 years.
He's so easygoing. Like the other day, I told him, I said, go get me some creamer, like from Walmart.
Yeah.
And he knows the kind of creamer that I like,
I do.
but he brought me a different kind.
Yeah.
He like caramel something.
Yeah. Switch it up. You know what I'm saying?
And I was like, but I like the vanilla one.
But that's the thing, though. She's just set in
And I
her
tell him,
ways,
and he's like, I brought you a different creamer, and I'm like,
to try.
Let's try it. Yeah.
thanks, but I want my regular vanilla. It's sweet, you know. That.
So guess what happens now? I'm
So he's the one that has to finish.
not
the
stuck,
caramel.
and I'm not forced into. She's not like, you have to drink it. She's like, yeah, fine, I'll drink it. But me as guilt, like, well, I try to do something different. But you know what? Now I'll drink it. It's fine because I'm not picky. You know, it's like, you know, sometimes for dinner,
Yeah.
it's like, what do you want? It's like, I don't care. I really don't care.
Yeah.
I could eat a peanut butter sandwich, cereal,
Oh,
anything. I don't care. I'll take anything.
there was one day, Ro, where I slaved and made a really good dinner. You know what this man ate? A sandwich.
Sometimes
I
the
was
sandwich is
so
good.
mad. I did not just bust my butt. And
She didn't
make
just
this-
take out the pans from the oven to clean them out.
I told him that story about that one incident when you kept all the pans in that oven and you created this huge almost fire in our home when we had just barely
To this
bought.
day, Ian does not let me live it down.
Never.
He's like, hey, Dad, do you remember when you almost burned down the house? I'm like, no, we're not going to talk about that. Not me.
So, no.
We've been together for 11 years, but every day it's a new day for us because we have to adjust. You know, like there's days where one's a little bit more needier,
Yeah.
you know, so we have to adjust to that. You know, there's days where I'm like, babe, I come home with a migraine. I'm like, I'm just gonna go lay down.
Yeah.
I'm like, and Uriel's, I'm like, the way they had those kids, like, I have a migraine and I go lay down, go to sleep, and it's Uriel, dinner, baths, spelling words, whatever it is. Marriage is not easy,
Yeah.
but we've came a long way.
Yeah, I mean, it's
We've came a long
both
way.
of us together. It's
Yeah.
not just one person. And then, you know, again, just like what she said, there's days that, you know, I don't feel great. And so I'm like, I'm gonna go lay down too.
Yeah.
Like, you got it. Like, I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
you know.
What's as a single guy, what's a lesson y'all learned from marriage? I know there's many things, but just one thing you're like, hey,
As a what?
like me as a single guy, what is something that you could tell somebody or me, like, hey, in marriage, this is what you will learn about yourself or your partner?
I will say to never stop dating your spouse,
Okay.
you know, because
First and foremost.
Okay.
your
So-
kids your kids will eventually leave your house. We know that, and time goes by so quick. And I know that the kids are gonna get their car y ya no van a querer estar con nosotros. You
Yeah.
know, they're like, hey, I'm gonna go with my friends, or they have a job or whatever. So they're not gonna be around us as much as they are now, as young as they are now. So I think just dating each other, even 11 years in, 9 years into marriage, we still have to have these dates and just remind ourselves, like, hey, we actually do like each other, you know, like it's
Yeah.
not.
There's times that, you know,
Yeah.
you have to stop being mom and dad, and then you have to be husband and wife.
Yeah.
So that goes to show, like, I have an older kid, an older daughter.
Yeah.
From a previous marriage. And she, at the time, I think she was like 16, 17. And we were just talking, we were sitting outside the front porch, and me and her were just sitting out there, and I was talking to her, and I looked at her square in the eyes, and I'm like, I don't know how we got to talking about relationships and stuff like that. And I'm like, look, I want you to know that I love you unconditionally. I will always be here for you. But I want you to know that Zuri comes first. She comes before you. She comes before the other kids. And I asked her, I said, do you know what I mean by that? She said, no, I don't. I said, because eventually you guys, meaning the kids, you guys are going to grow up. You're going to go to school. You're going to be gone one day. And it's just going to be me and her left. Right? So everyone's going to be gone. So I have to pay extra close attention to her and make sure that, you know, I'm taking care of her, and it's not just all about the kids. So I'm a firm believer that the kids do not come first, right? So if you look at it, I think traditionally how it's supposed to be, in my opinion, I don't know. Everyone else is going to have different opinions, but I think first and foremost should be, you know, put God, then your spouse, and then your kids,
Yeah.
right? Because again, your kids are going to leave one day. And then also, you don't have that strong foundational, you know, relationship between, you know, you, yourself, your spouse, and God, then what do you have?
I think also as like a wife, I'm like, I gotta make sure Uriel is okay. Because if he's not okay, then our family is not okay. You know, like him as our house, like
The
the
head.
breadwinner, the
Yeah.
head of the household. If he's not okay, then I'm not okay, which means that my kids are not okay. So I always try to think of it that way. Okay, is he okay mentally, like physically? Like,
Yeah.
am I feeding him right? You know, things like that, because at the end of the day, if he's not okay, then it affects our household. And I'm sure it goes to him vice versa. Like, if I'm not okay, then the kids are not taken care of. The household's not taken care of.
it goes both ways.
It goes both ways.
It's
You know,
both spouses have to be committed to the relationship.
Yeah.
To
and I think
succeed.
marrying your best friend is a huge one. You know,
Yeah.
I think to this very day I can sit down and laugh with Uriel and just think of, hey, you know, you really truly are my best friend.
That's what's up.
You know, I think that's like the number one thing is marrying your best friend.
But no, I like that. Like the keep dating your partner.
I think that's so important.
You have to. That's important.
Yeah.
Because if you lose focus of that, then you're gonna lose your marriage.
What does that look like? Do you still ask her like, hey, do you want to go out, or hey, like, should we do this, or is it kind of like we've gone in the motion, like it's Wednesday, we got to go. You know, how does that look like for date night?
No, so obviously, you know, having little ones at home, it's not too often that we get to go out and about.
Yeah.
So we will make plans, because we have to find a sitter.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, we got to find somebody to watch the kids to where we can make plans and go do something. So it's not, you know, every weekend or every other weekend or once a month that we do get to go out. But when we go out, we enjoy it. We truly enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we enjoy the being away from the kids for a
sure.
little
Yeah,
while.
yeah, for sure.
You
for
know?
sure.
So it's just spontaneous, and it's just, we just go with it.
Yeah, but at least like once a month at least.
We try.
Okay.
If not, once every 2 months.
Once every 2 months.
You know,
Yeah.
it's hard with kiddos,
Okay.
but we try.
I'm learning. I'll write that down. Keep dating while married. We're gonna hit on to these deep topics. You want to just like randomize? There's 150.
Yeah, just do a random.
Give me
Go
a
ahead.
number between 1 and.
Okay, you
and
can pick since you're
hey, where the
One
other
and
one?
what?
1 in 150.
150?
Yeah.
Wait, where are the other ones at? Hold on.
Okay. Which
Well,
ones
in
are
this case,
available?
1 and 30.
15.
15. Did you have a 15?
I don't know.
What do you mean? You don't know? Did you have a quinceañera? Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I'm trying to say.
Did I have a 15? I did have a
Yeah.
15.
Did you have one?
No.
I had one.
Yeah, Ro had a 15.
Really?
Yeah.
No. I really don't ever remember having even a birthday party.
What?
Yeah.
Your mama probably had like a picture of you at 3 years old with a cake and Winnie the Pooh pinata.
Not that I recall, to be honest with you. I mean, you know, we came up with really nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So birthdays were very scarce. I really honestly don't remember having a birthday party.
When's your
Really?
birthday?
He has two
September
birthday
27th.
parties.
So I got 2 birthdays.
He
What
has
you mean?
two
Whoa, whoa.
I was had to do 2
I've heard
birthdays.
birthday months and birthday weeks. So what you mean you got 2
He has
birthdays?
2 birthdays.
I have 2 birthdays.
You were born twice? Like
Basically.
At one point, he wanted me to celebrate both
I
of
was
them.
like, we gonna celebrate 2 birthdays.
Uh-huh.
And the reason that I say that is because I was born in El Rancho,
Uh-huh.
right? So nothing, like there's no running water, no
Yeah.
electricity, no plumbing, no nothing in El Rancho. And so I was born August 30th, but by the time that my mom was able to find a ride to take me, I guess, to the nearest town to get a birth certificate,
Yeah.
it was a month later.
Oh wow.
And so that's the date that they put down as my birthday, was the day that I actually got my birth certificate.
Dang.
And so growing up, I was always like, yeah, I got 2 birthdays. I got my actual date that I was born,
Yeah.
and then the day that I actually
You certified.
have to go by, which is
Like
in
by
September,
law, yeah.
by law. So yeah, I got 2 birthdays, and,
And
I would
it's-
always joke with her. I was like, I get 2 birthday presents.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
I
and
get
it's
2
hard
parties.
because then they ask me, "What's your husband's date of birth?" And I'm like, "Which one is it?"
Which one
And,
is
I
it?
always, and so I was doing something, and someone asked me, like we were in person, and someone asked me,
Yeah.
like, "Hey, when's your husband's date of birth?" And I was like, and she's like, "Do you not know your
I'm like, well, he was-
husband's date of birth?" I was like, "Hold up, don't judge me,
Uh-huh.
okay? Don't judge
Hold
He's
me."
on, hold on.
complicated.
Complicated. And so here I'm like, when was your birthday? And I was like, he has 2 birthdays, okay?
Yeah.
It's complicated. That's why I always forget. And she was like,
Okay.
She'd be like, he came into the world on this day, right?
Yeah.
Then the government decided to give him this
Yeah.
day.
This day, exactly.
Yeah.
But
Pretty
now
much.
we just celebrate one.
Yeah.
Which one?
My official one.
The 30th.
By law.
Oh,
Yeah.
The
the.
by
The one
law
by
birthday.
driver's
So
license.
September. So when is
September.
your government?
September 27th.
Okay. Question number 15 says, "What is your favorite place in the world?"
Wherever my family is at.
Corny ass.
No, I'm
answer.
serious. Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
but
I'm kidding.
serious. Really, if my kids or if my family's in Tennessee,
Yeah.
that's my favorite place to be.
Anywhere.
Wherever
Anywhere.
my kids are at, wherever my husband's at, my family.
What do they say? Home is where the heart is. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
wherever your family's at, wherever.
But if I had to choose a place, it would be the beach.
The beach. Okay. That's where you feel. That's where you feel. What was that question again? I already forgot.
I don't know. I don't know about the beach.
No.
I love the beach, but
I love the
Oh,
beach.
favorite place in the world. That's what it was.
Or Mexico City.
Mhm.
I had such a great time, like I don't want to say growing up because I really didn't grow up there, but we would go every year, every 2 years to Mexico City, in my grandma's little tiny apartment. And I have such wonderful memories here.
What's your favorite place? Is that where the heart is, or home is where the heart is?
Almost where the heart is. It don't matter. Be here. It could be Podunk Town. It could be at the beach.
Yeah.
The mountains. Wherever they're at. I know it's cheesy, but it's the truth.
Mine would have to be Banff.
I've always wanted to go
Banff.
to Banff.
We want to go there.
And Lake Louise. That's when I got to experience waking up in the hostel next to the mountains and then having to canoe on Lake Louise. I'm like, dude, this is great. Like, to me, the minute I saw the mountains that next morning with the window open and got that nice breeze coming in, I was like, oh, this is God's creation. Like, this is what he wanted us to see and witness. And so being able to go to Canada and witness that and experience that, I'm like, this is nice.
Imagine that feeling, but with your favorite person. How much better would that be?
Yeah.
Right?
I might take a picture. She's right there. I'm like, move out the way.
Oh my gosh, bro.
I'm taking a video. I'm like, just move over. You know what I'm saying? But I see you every day. I don't see this every day.
I'm tired of looking at you.
And so, but yeah, that's my favorite place. That once I was there, I didn't want to leave. Like, I want to go like this weekend. Like, that's where I want to go now. I want to go and experience. I want to experience like the hallmark type of snow in a different country. I want to experience snow in Canada.
Yeah,
Like, I want to do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I
That's why I
love
told
it.
her, I was like, let's move. Let's go somewhere different. She doesn't want to.
Where would you go?
Anywhere.
He's talked about Tennessee, like, hey, let's move to Tennessee.
I love Tennessee.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. For anybody that's been there, it's beautiful. They know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. As of
The
right
Smoky
now, I would only
Mountains.
stay in Texas just because of the tax benefits and all that kind of stuff. As of right now, but if I had to like move, I don't know. I'll let y'all know when I come back from Italy. Maybe I'll move to Italy. Yeah, I can come out there and I'll make some pizzas and pastas.
Well, it's different for him because Uriel's been in Lufkin his whole entire life.
Yeah.
And Mexico, we lived in Texas, we moved to Toronto, we went to Missouri. Like, a cada rato, I feel like we were moving.
Yeah.
And I never got to like plant my roots down. And not just that, but our whole family's here. My parents are here. I mean, Uriel's brother, his mom. I mean, we have, you know, and I never grew up where my family was very close. And I want my kids, like this Easter, you know, Ian got to be with all his little cousins, and I loved that, you know. And I told Selena, I said, you can never move. Our kids are gonna grow up together.
Yeah.
You know, and so she has two, and they're like, Ian and her son are like a year apart.
Yeah, about
And
a year.
then Mia and her daughter are about a year apart.
also.
Yeah. And so they're very close, and I love that they get to experience growing up with their cousins. And that's why I tell Uriel all the time. Because Uriel, through his job, he's always like, you know, they have an opening at such and such place here in Dallas, here in Austin. And I would love to, but just the thought of starting
that.
over. And plus, we have a huge community that helps us with our kids. You know, what do they call that?
village.
A village. We have a huge village that helps us with our kids. And I'm like, we will not get that if we were
No,
to move.
absolutely. That's something that you would lose, but you know, again, that you got to get out there and explore and see what else is new and different. And there's so much to see out there that we don't even know about, right?
That's what I'm taking advantage now. Like,
yeah.
I'm doing
Yeah,
it
no,
now
absolutely.
before I like settle or have kids or anything like that. I mean, I want to get to the point where I can take my kids.
I
with
know,
me, you
seriously,
know?
like you can take your kids.
You gonna push them out of the way too?
Yeah,
Move.
heck yeah. I mean, like, y'all should move. I'll take 10 pictures. I can be in one of them.
I'm tired of you.
I'm gonna choose number 3.
Okay.
3 says, oh, I just figured it out. These are all in sections. So,
Because of a topic?
yeah. So I didn't realize that's what it was, but I've been just scrolling up and down. So I'm all over the place with these questions. Number 3 says, that one's boring. It says, why is art important? Scroll. It says, what makes you truly happy? Before y'all get y'all's cheesy answer out the way, I'm gonna go with mine.
Okay.
Cars. That's cheesy in myself, but I would say that the car community, definitely hands down,
That's not
Like-
that. I agree with you. Because when I was in high school, I don't know if I'm sure you've heard the stories of cruising Timberland.
yeah, a whole
Right.
bunch of it. Yeah,
And so I
I feel
grew
like
up-
it's a tall tale. I'm like, there's no way I did that.
It was a thing, and
Yeah.
it was real. And I tell Zuri about it all the time. I'm like,
Yeah.
we'll go to Harbor Freight or whatever. Like, the cars used to be lined up all the way back here, and that's all you did on Friday and Saturday nights, just cruise up and down Timberland.
Yeah.
Either, the turnaround spot was at Sonic right here on Timberland.
Yeah.
And everybody would go through there, circle through there, go back down Timberland to the mall or to the Harbor Freight side right there. Back then it was Randall's. It was a grocery store. It was Randall's.
Yeah.
And so we would circle just back and forth just all night long. And so back then, it was a car scene.
Yeah.
And I had my little lowrider truck that I used to cruise in. It was a little extended cab S10. I don't know if Zuri's ever shown you pictures.
No.
But this sucker was like this far off the ground.
Yeah.
Like it was low. And that was the thing back then. Everybody had, dropped cars, trucks and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so at the time, what you're talking about, like, cars is your thing.
Yeah.
Back then it was my thing too. So no, I feel you. And it's different.
Oh yeah.
It's different. It's different than what you're saying. Like, I like cars. I love cars, and that's my thing. As opposed to me now that I'm
for
older
sure.
and I have wife and kids. It's like,
For sure.
That's this is my thing now.
Yeah, because I would
But I
say
feel you on that.
that the automotive world like definitely took me out of the darkest times of my life. Like because of the car industry, like there'd be times where I don't want to do anything, I don't want to hang out, I don't want to talk to nobody. The minute someone's like, hey, we got a car meet going on, I'm like, all right, I guess I'll go. Then I'll go, and the reason why I like the car community, why I want other people to be involved in it, you won't drive an ugly car. The first thing you look at is the body of an SUV. Yeah. You're like, you're gonna drive that? Like that little cube over there looks like a toaster? You're not gonna drive that. No, because it looks ugly. Everybody likes cars, but no one realizes they like cars. And the cars is the one thing is that like there is no racism. There is no discrimination.
You feel like everybody can
relate, everybody can like it, everybody can love it, and everybody can hate it at the same time. When I went to my first lowrider show in Houston, like to the lowrider brand, that was like, oh, it's not like there's, African American, there's Asians, there's Hispanics, there's people from other countries gathered in this one place looking at this one car and like, okay, like we have no differences. We're the same person. We like this one thing
I
right there.
remember going to a lowrider show too, a long time ago.
We should go.
I don't know where they have them anymore.
It's random
my
sometimes.
My first and only car show that I went, lowrider car show, was at the Houston Astrodome.
Dang.
Way back in the day.
See, I went to my first one in Houston, but at the George convention.
At the George H. Mine was at the Houston Astrodome. And I see what you're saying because, again, going back to what I was talking about earlier, cruising Timberland and, whatever, we used to all gather around the car wash. So there used to be a car wash right there with Taco Bell and...
we did the same thing. Yeah.
Right there. We would always hang out there or, like at a random parking lot there in front of...
now it's at Ray's.
Kmart.
Now it's at Ray's every first Saturday.
Well, yeah, that's always been there, but that was apart from what we used to do.
Oh, okay.
And we would always gather, like, check out each other's rides and whatnot. I was like, oh, dude, like, you got, some kicker competitions or, what was the square kickers called? Do you remember? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. I'm not into the audio world.
It was, that's all it was, audio and cars. Was it Solo Barracks? I think that's what it was.
Your guess is as good as mine. Like
Solo
I'm more in the performance scene.
And that's what it was. And we would always gather around every weekend, Fridays and Saturdays, just checking out each other's rides, audio systems and whatnot, and just chit chatting.
Yeah.
Just shooting the shit,
Have you gone to car shows?
I have not.
You're missing out.
I mean, we used to go to the state fair, and you know how they used to have like all the latest cars. That's probably the closest that I've gone to like a car show, where people are like, hey, look at this new model that we got,
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's basically nothing.
Like an exhibition or whatever.
But yeah, that's like literally.
Yeah, it was all the dealerships from around the area that would bring out their new, rides for
that's like literally the closest
advertisement and stuff like that. And they put up the trucks way up in the, I don't know, like big old platforms, like 20, 30 feet above the ground.
Yeah.
And so that's what it was. And then they'd have that, like some tricked out cars, and they'd have like GTRs and, Jeeps and stuff like that.
I think Uriel's always been into cars because he's had a Jeep. I remember.
Oh, that's what made her fall in love. I had a Jeep.
He had a Jeep.
That's what I need. I need a Jeep, huh? I just need a Jeep.
No, I really remember. I was like, oh.
Wow. Off-roading. So you drive on the road and on dirt? Like, okay. Dry asphalt and mud? Okay.
Our first date was at Taco Bell, and he took me in his Jeep, and I was
In
like,
my Jeep.
"This is a nice Jeep you got here."
close the door real hard.
Or don't close the door because there's no door.
But he's always, I mean, he had a really nice Jeep. He would always deck it out. And I tell him all the time, I'm like, you should get a lowrider. Like, find you a nice truck and work on it with Ian.
I really want to.
Because Ian's at that age where he's like so curious about so many things. And I'm like, let it be a little project for you and him. They all go out in the garage on weekends and just work
If it
on
was
it.
up to Ian to choose a ride, he'd probably choose an aircraft carrier.
He probably would.
He's into boats. He's into aircraft carriers.
Yeah.
I don't know where to store one.
Hey, you get those little RC ones, the ones that they race.
Yeah.
You can get one of those. You know, hey, as long as you have a son with a very expensive hobby, that's all that matters. As long as that like hobby has an engine, your wallets are gonna.
No, I for real thought about it. I was like, you know, what if I buy like a little ride? And
I
something
told
for
him, I'm like, do
me and him
it.
to work on and fix.
Yes.
And
I think that's a really good bonding.
Get
Look,
him out of the
put an
house.
engine in that little tricycle right there.
there you go.
I'm just saying, you know, he might get hurt, but that's how you're gonna learn. You know?
Hey, I tell him, I'm like, I think that'd be a really good bonding time for y'all
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah, yell
I
at him
mean-
for this flashlight, you know.
Yeah.
You tell him I need this tool, it brings you the opposite tool. You're like, not this one.
the other one.
And then I'm like, and me and Mia will just go out and spend your money.
Yeah.
It'll be perfect.
So what makes y'all truly happy?
Aww. I don't know how he puts up with me sometimes.
I don't know.
Because there's days where he's just like, Zuri, how are we here? You know, and I get him into so many situations.
Like this one.
And yeah, like this one. And I don't know how he puts up with me sometimes. But I know life is interesting for him.
Oh gosh.
All right, Uriel, give me a number.
Let's go with 21.
21.
Gotcha.
What is your walk-up or theme song?
Oh, God, I don't know.
Hold on. Into my
Do you
head.
have one?
I lost it now that I'm on the spot.
I would have to say Titanium.
By who's it?
Sia?
Saya?
With David Guetta.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah.
I know that song. That's your walk-up song?
That,
To what sport or TV entertainment? What do you like? Do you like wrestling? Do you like baseball? Like what's your
neither.
Just going into work?
I gotta get hyped up for work.
You're walking out of that back door into your truck? That's your
I mean, don't you?
Man, I have a when I have a hype up. Yeah, when I'm walking the gym, yeah, I'll have my
What is
headphones
it?
in. It's
I mean, because we kind of work out here a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
So
when I went to the Astros game, I was talking to my friend. I was like, what would be your walk-up song? My walk-up song at a baseball game, if I was a player, it would be Cumbia Kings, the song.
that's only if you got your heart broken.
No, but the song. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
I mean, Cumbia Kings.
The only Cumbia Kings that I know is the ones where, you know, the heartbreaks, like,
You got your heart broken.
yeah, back then.
And then you found
It
her.
wasn't Zuri, but that's besides the point.
And then some girl walked up to your Jeep and like,
I know.
Change it. Like, I gotta meet this on the video, but so that's my walk-up song.
For me, am I mad or not mad?
If she matters,
We just got in a fight.
You just got in a fight.
You just got in a fight.
If I just
Doors
got
are
in
slamming.
a fight with Uriel, it would
How
be like
you were wrong
elastic.
about something.
It would be
Yeah.
Elastic Heart.
By who?
Sia, I think, who sings that?
Elastic Heart?
Elastic Heart. You've never heard of it?
Never
I
heard of
have
it.
never heard.
You've
I know
never
Titanium for
heard?
sure because like
It's-
the
Have
hit.
I hurt you that bad?
Like, this is if I am so mad at Uriel.
What's
like,
going on?
I don't.
I don't need you.
Oh my God.
And I'll be like in the car just
Yeah.
blasting that one.
Oh my goodness.
Now, if we're good and I'm happy
Yeah.
and I'm trying to achieve all these dreams, it would probably be Hall of Fame by, who sings that, The Script?
The script.
Yeah.
Just because my dad has always taught me to be the best of the best. Like, those would be mine too. Just depends on my mood.
Okay.
You know,
Depends
if,
on the
am I
mood.
in love? It would be like Ojitos Lindos. My bad.
Do y'all
Thanks.
have a song?
Do we?
What did y'all
No.
dance at y'all's wedding?
Dude, I don't even remember. What, you picked it.
What was it?
do. We don't even.
Is
I don't
it?
even remember.
No.
Because I don't honestly do not think we have a song. Because if we had a song, we would like.
Yeah.
I think it's the typical song that plays at every wedding, which is something.
Oh, Cha-Cha Slide.
Nah, that too. That gets the crowd going.
Zuri, which song would you choose
For what?
for y'all? You're like, hey, I dedicate this song to.
From the
Ojitos-
ground up.
Ojitos Lindos.
From the ground up. That's what we dance to.
No.
The song that plays at every wedding. Dan and Shay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about now?
I've used it on a couple of videos.
Yeah, for sure.
No, I always tell them, I'm like, Ojitos Lindos
Uh-huh.
from Bad Bunny.
From Bad Bunny. Oh
I
my
always tell
gosh.
them that.
What's 1 through 30?
20.
20. 22. Okay, your number 22 is Are You Afraid to Die?
Am I afraid to die?
Yeah.
Whew, yeah. Just because I don't want to leave my kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like my kids, besides Uriel, comes first.
For
My
sure.
kids.
Yeah.
You know, and that's always been a fear of mine. Who wants to leave loved ones, but especially your kids?
Yeah.
Because I hear or see so many stories in our community where a mom tragically dies, and the first thing that I think about are those poor babies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those poor
And so,
babies.
you know,
Because
yeah.
I mean, can you imagine as a 8th grader, 9th grader? Doesn't even matter what age you are. Everybody needs their mom. From someone just tragically from a sickness or just one day you just leave your house and boom.
Yeah.
You know, that I always think of the kids, also the husband, but I can't imagine a kid going through that grief of, hey, I just lost my mom. Because, you know, I think as a mom, it's different. I know Uriel sees it, but the kids are more affectionate towards me in a way because I'm their Uriel's their caregiver too, but they know they were in my womb. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's that mom love.
Yeah.
You know, they
You
know
got a special
that.
connection.
Yeah, we have that special bond, that special connection, and I know that if they need anything, they could come to me. Of course, they can come to Uriel too, but as their mom, I think we just have that bond. Uriel too, like if something were to ever to happen to me, like will he be okay?
Yeah.
You know, taking care of 2 kids.
Yeah.
You know, and maintaining a house, and you know, because I also think of the spouse when a mother passes for whatever reason. I'm like, man, that dad is now a widow. Like, how is he gonna make it? You know, because there's so much. There's laundry and food and emotional. Like, is that dad gonna be okay emotionally for these kids? And is he gonna be okay for himself, like to be able to raise these kids? Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, you're gonna have your people that say that, you know, if it's my time, it's my time. But if you were to honestly give them an option, like, hey, do you want to die? Check the box, yes or no. Who's gonna say yes? Now I understand that, you know, mental health is a serious issue, and somebody in their right mind, that you would ask them that, who would say yes? And you know, it's for what she said too. I mean, you have loved ones, you have people that love you, and you know, especially if you got little ones. And nobody is ever ready. Nobody ever would check that yes. You know?
Like if you give me that, I'm on the side of it. If it's my time, it's my time. But I'm not gonna check yes. You know, on the box.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like as of right now, like I don't have any dependents
no.
on me. You know, nobody. You know, like
Nobody wants to. Will
Yeah, I don't want to.
Again, you know, going back to what I said earlier, yeah, there's, you know, mental health that's out there that really affects a lot of people, and you know, maybe they just need somebody. But like I said, anybody with a right mind, they wouldn't check that box and say, yeah, I want to die. I'm ready to die.
Yeah.
If you were given that option, you wouldn't.
I don't know. What's today's date? 21st? All right, that's what we're picking. Watch this next question be like sunshines and rainbows. Similar vibe. Do you think you're brave? Do I think I'm brave?
Do you
No.
think you're brave?
You don't think you're brave?
No, I don't think I'm brave. I will.
In what scenario? Somebody broke into your house, or are you brave to go fight that mountain lion? You know?
Why do you not think you're brave?
I don't know. I'm just like winging it all the time. I'm just winging it. Like I just do the things because I just want to do it. And I'm like, all right, if I attempted it and I accomplished it,
Well, that's being brave.
sweet. But I'm like, is it? I don't know.
I think it is.
Okay.
Because I mean, if you don't do it because you're scared, then you're not brave. You know what I mean? If you're gonna go for it and just wing it, hey, at least you attempted it.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, do you think you're?
Well, you're taking a chance. So
Yeah. Because I've been in scenarios where like fight or flight will have to kick in, and then there'll be times. The first time fight or flight kicked in, I just froze. I didn't fight or fly. I just stayed in my tracks. And then that's when I experienced tunnel vision for the first time. I was like, oh, like whatever is, the danger is in front of me. I can't escape it. I can escape it, but I just froze in my tracks. Nothing happened to me, but I was like, I don't know what to do. So I'm just gonna like, just stay right here. And I was like 21 when that happened. And I was like, I don't know what to do. And then after it passed, I'm like, dang, what should I have done? You know, should I have done this? Should I have done that? There was no harm in me afterwards or anybody else. It was just like, I just focused on this one thing that was causing harm, but it ended up like not being, like you almost see an accident happen, but nothing really happens afterwards. Like with that moment of your light flashing before your eyes or whatever, like that was what happened. And oh, well, nothing happened afterwards. It was just that 1/2 second moment where like, oh, like this is what could be happening, but nothing that happened afterwards. And my reaction was like, am I brave enough to handle these kind of situations or am I not? And that's why I was questioning like, my reaction on that situation.
I don't think we ever really know until we're put to the test.
Yeah.
Again, you know, like somebody breaking into your house, like you're gonna do whatever it takes to. You don't desire that, but you can do whatever it takes to, you know.
All I'm saying is
Spend the money,
God bless Texas in their gun rules. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Right?
Yeah.
I think you really don't know until you're put to the test.
Yeah.
And whatever happens, happens.
I would like to say that I am, just because I was always stuck to the norm, like same routine for the longest. And I kind of got tired of like wishing all these things upon myself. Like, oh, I wish I did this, I wish I did that. You know what I mean? And I kind of got tired of that. So that's when I kind of just like did it. You know, like example of the podcast. Because at the end of the day, I want my kids, and I've said this like before, I want my kids to feel like they're enough and that they could achieve whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
You know, like Ian's always said that, hey, I want to be a pilot. You know, and I'm like, dude, sky's the limit.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Buy him a drone. Just, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, buy him a drone.
And so I want to engrave that in my kids, like, hey, you can be brave, you can do whatever you want. Like Ian, he was so hesitant about playing soccer because he was like, hey, you know, and I told him, I said, do it, be brave and go out there.
Yeah.
And he had his first game, and yeah, he wasn't the best.
He
You know,
sucked.
but he was. I'm proud of him because he was brave.
Yeah.
And
He
did
tried it.
He tried
Yeah.
it.
Okay, that's
you
what's
know,
up.
and I think that's great. And I think with my daughter too, I want to teach her, especially as a girl.
Yeah.
Who she will one day be a woman. I want to teach her like
The piano.
not the piano. Hey, if she wants to, let's do it.
Yeah.
But not force her to do it. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think I just want to show my kids like, hey, I'm brave enough to do this. Like you can be brave and do whatever you want to do.
Are you brave?
I think he
I
is.
don't know till I'm put to the test. And
Yeah.
Depends on what scenario too, I guess.
I think it depends on the scenario, but if you say brave, that's what I think about, like taking the risk and going for it. But I think as a dad, any dad is brave. Because I mean, they have to provide for a family.
I'm trying to find a good question before we enter our "Am I the asshole?" question or scenario, story, whatever.
How about, what do you think about when you're alone? I think about, am I a good mom? You know, because I get so frustrated some days, and these kids push my limits some days, especially Ian. Like, he's at that age where he just tries to push you to see how far he can get, and then I lose it. And then I'm laying in bed alone, and I'm like, did I upset my kids? Could I have been a better mom?
Done something different.
Could I have done something different? What can I change for tomorrow? You know, are my kids upset with me? Did I like scar them? You know, things like that. I think because at the end of the day, I am Zuri Rojo, but most importantly, I'm a mom. You know, and that's what I think about when I'm alone. I'm like, are my kids, you know, am I teaching them everything that I can possibly teach them to where they can one day be good humans and love other people and make something of themselves?
That's deep.
I have some deep thoughts.
All right, we're gonna go in deeper. What do you think about?
Anything and everything.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm with you on that.
There's really no specific scenario like, you know, am I a good dad? I think for me it's just a lot of thinking about work. I'm in a position where I constantly have to be thinking about the next day or the next week and just, you know, what's the right thing to do going forward to, you know, be successful at work. So it could be anything from that to what do I need to get done around the house? What needs to be done right now?
Yeah.
What future plans for, you know, like anything that we may need to do, like vacations or, and it could be anything from like just random thoughts, like how many birds live in that tree up there? You know,
Yeah.
it's just like, just random thoughts. Or sometimes nothing, just staring out into space.
He's sometimes staring into space. I'm like, what are you thinking about? I'm literally just thinking about how many birds are in that nest. I'm like, that's what you're
Just
thinking.
like,
Yeah.
it's just anything and everything.
Yeah.
There's
Guys,
no
brain.
specific, like,
Can you not think about nothing?
I don't think women do that.
No, and then I asked Ian the same thing. I'm like, what are you thinking about? He's like, well, I'm thinking about like how many jets can fit on an aircraft carrier, and I'm like,
Like,
that's.
you just be like, watch a movie, like count them. Like,
Well, I'm just like, that's what you think about, like just random things.
I think as a guy, yeah, that's pretty accurate.
this is dumb, and it's on YouTube. I put it up. Like, how many pounds of chicken do we eat? You know, and I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
in the world.
In the
and I'm
world.
like, how many? All right, how many eggs are those? So I started calculating, and I started going to Google. How much does an average person eat? I forget the number. It's on my YouTube channel. But I was like, that's what I'm thinking about. Like, we eat a lot of chickens, and I thought about that driving past, like passing by Pilgrim's Pride. I'm like, yo, we eat a lot. How are we still alive? Are we eating artificial chickens? Are we eating like scientifically grown chickens?
Absolutely.
You know, so I'm like, are we eating what we're supposed to be eating? Is this real chicken? Like, that's one thought, you know. And there are other times where I'm in my car and I don't realize I have music on. Like, I have music's off, and I'm just driving in silence and not thinking at all.
Do you ever drive down the road and don't remember the last 5 or 10 minutes of your ride?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, how did I
That
get
you
here?
just zone out and you just like teleport and you're like, wait a minute, I don't remember going around this curve or
Oh yeah.
past this building that
Yeah.
I normally drive by. It's like, I don't remember any of it. And then I think to myself, I'm like, thank God I didn't have a wreck because I'm not thinking.
Yeah.
I'm just zoned out. I'm just daydreaming.
Recently, came back from Houston. I didn't realize passing up Shepherd.
Yeah.
I'm just going. And then I passed up this one gas station I always stop at, and I didn't stop at it because I was like, I don't need any gas. I'm like, bro, how did I even get here?
How did I get here?
How did I get here? I don't remember passing up. I was like, what's my speed limit? And I'm like, okay, I'm going the speed limit. And I'm like, was there a cop? And I started thinking of like of all these scenarios.
All
I'm
these
like,
scenarios that
yeah.
could have happened. I could be driving and I don't remember anything like what he just like passing up anything. I could pass up a whole town
Yeah.
and wait, what?
But what do you think about when you're alone? You need
Oh, when I'm alone, depends on the mood. Depends on what happened that day.
yeah.
Or depends on if my derealization hits. Like if it hits, I'm like, all right, I'm thinking like the sad thoughts, or I'm overthinking, or I am making up scenarios in my head that isn't even true.
I think as humans, we need to be alone sometimes. As humans, I don't think we're meant to be like alone all the time, 24/7.
Well, no,
you know
need
what I
your
mean?
space.
Because there's people that are just want they don't have nobody. They don't want to be with nobody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just them themselves in their home, and they don't interact with other people. And I think it's healthy to be alone, but not too much alone time. Does that make sense?
I will rephrase it. I would say it's okay to be by yourself. Alone. To me, alone is like there's no connection. You're not gonna reach out. No one's gonna reach out to you. You're not gonna reach out to anybody else. Alone is just you isolating yourself from everybody else. Because
Okay.
either you want to, or that's what you put yourself into. You know, you probably did something to some people, and they're like, "Oh, we won't hang out with them no more." And it's like, oh, you just feel alone. Because we know what alone feels like, and it sucks.
Yeah.
But being by yourself, okay, I just want some, like what you said, like some me time. All right, just give me like an hour or a day or a weekend. I don't know. It could be something else. And like, I just have some me time. All right, cool, no problem. You know, reach out if you ever need me. All right, you know you can reach out, and you know somebody's gonna reach out to you. That's what I'm like. That's I would say from my definition, like that's being by yourself. But being alone is like, nah, I don't think we should be alone.
Yeah,
because then
we
that's when that
shouldn't.
like
As
that's when the
humans-
like the bad thoughts will start coming in.
As humans, we should not. You know, like everybody needs their own space. And I tell Euriel all the time, I'm like, hey, you know, yeah, we're married and we're best friends, but as it's healthy to just be alone. You do your thing, we do my own thing. Because again, we're our own individuals. But again, like there's too much alone time, because that's when all the negative thoughts start to kind of, because your mind is your biggest like enemy sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, there was a time where I had to go to therapy because I was just like getting all of these like thoughts. And I was like, this is not healthy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I cannot do this. And I think as a human, you know, there's too much time being just alone
I think
with
you
your
just
own
need the right
thoughts.
amount.
Yeah. I mean, an hour or two, or like a weekend or something, you know, but interaction is what us humans need. Because then those thoughts just start
flooding in.
You know. And when I was in therapy, I think everybody should go to therapy. Like, I think it was wonderful. I had a great experience. And it's just where, like, te desahogas. You know what I mean? Like, you just talk to a random person.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have no connection to them at all.
Yeah.
But you just talk to them, you know. Like, I would tell Uriel, but it's just different with a complete stranger que no te conoce, doesn't know who you are, you don't know who they are, they're not going to judge you, that's their job. But anyway, you know, me desahogué con this person, and they're just there to listen. You know, they just listened and they're like, okay, and they give you feedback. And I remember vividly, she gave me a pamphlet, and it was called like cognitive thinking, that your brain just thinks about all these different scenarios, and 98% of them will probably never happen. You know, because your mind is always racing of all, like, what if this, what if that, like, what if this happens, you know, and that's when the anxiety starts to creep in. Yeah. You know. And I wish I still had that pamphlet. And I tell Uriel that all the time. And I recently told him, I said, I'm going to call up there and ask them if I can have a copy of it again. Because it was so refreshing to the mind, and just reading it and knowing, okay, like, these thoughts are just not true thoughts, that just are just crazy thoughts, you know, whatever. And when I tell people all the time, I'm like, hey, you know, there's nothing wrong with therapy. You know, like, I know the question wasn't about regarding therapy, but when you have that too much alone time, you know, I mean, there was another incident that happened to what caused me to have all these thoughts, you know, but I ended up going to therapy. And it was just, gracias a Dios, it was just like a huge blessing, because now I can like think about it. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
Have you ever gone to therapy?
No, but sometimes, like you said, I'm like, sometimes maybe I would like somebody to talk to that's not a not your spouse, not somebody that's going to be biased or, you know, fight back with you, right? Sometimes we just need an honest opinion of ourselves. Am I crazy, or is she the crazy one? You know, we need somebody that, you know, gives us the truth and give us a, you know, unbiased opinion of through someone else's lenses, so to speak. And I mean, I agree with that. I mean,
they give you like the tools. You know what I mean? Like, hey, here are some tools. Here are some like exercises, like mental exercises that you can do. And dude, like, I think it was such a really good step that I took. Because like now, like, there's issues that pop up, but because I went to therapy, I think of everything in that pamphlet that I read and my exercising, like, okay, calm down. Is this gonna happen? Probably not. This is just my crazy thoughts. It's not gonna happen. It's gonna be fine.
For therapy, I've considered it at one point, never done it. My therapy is, at first when I lived in Houston, I would go to restaurants and go to the bar before anybody would show up and just talk to the bartender. Just ask them like, hey, because I know they hear a lot, they see a lot. They're probably
used to it.
Yeah, because they're so used, and I'm like, I would ask them a question. I'm like, hey, I'm going through this, I need some advice. I don't know you, you don't know me. You would probably never see me again, but just give me something, because I know you hear a lot and you see a lot. And I've gotten my best advice from bartenders. And if it wasn't for them, then I would go to the gym and not use the gym as therapy, but ask the people at the gym. I'm like, yo, like, I need some help. What about this? And then sometimes they'll give me the best advice too. Then I'm like, all right, cool, sweet, free session. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny to say that, because I know I remember I mentioned it to Zuri one time, and I don't know whether she thought I was crazy or not. I'm like, and I told her these exact words. I'm like, you know what I would love to do one day? Find a random person, anybody, I don't care, anybody, whoever, invite them to lunch and just learn their life story.
Yeah.
Just get to know them for whatever reason. Like, what have you been through? Everybody's got a story to tell. Just out of curiosity, like, what have you done? Where have you been? Tell me your life story. What all have you been through?
And then also as strangers, like, you don't know each other.
Yeah.
You know, you can tell them, hey, this is the problem that I'm going through.
Right.
Well, man, you know, no judgment.
Yeah, absolutely. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I'm like, you know what? I mean, again, everybody has a story to tell. That'd be pretty neat, I think. Anyways, call me crazy, but
yeah,
you know.
Nah, I would do that. I would, you know, matter of fact, when I came back, when I took my Cali trip, we stopped at a Texas Roadhouse at Arizona or New Mexico, whichever state it is, coming back over here. And at the time, I was like heavy my laser engraving stuff, and I had bought a leather sheet, and I made my own leather bracelet, and I made my own design on it or whatever. And then I was eating at the restaurant, and the waiter comes along. He's like, "Hey man, I like your bracelet." "Oh man, thanks, appreciate it." We're still eating. And I don't know why, I was like, man, I'm feeling nervous, but I just want to give this guy my bracelet. And so I took off my bracelet and I gave it to him. He's like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "Yeah, man, I made it. I can make another one. Like, you can have this bracelet." He's like, "Man, are you sure this and that, whatever?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, it's whatever." And then he gave it to him. I remember him telling me like, "Oh yeah, like it's like his family was some type of tribe or whatever, and the design that I had made was similar to their tribe designs, and that he liked it so much, and he felt honored that I gave it to him." Like, "Oh, that's what's up." You know, he gave me his life story in like 30 seconds. And I'm like, "Bro, I don't even know you, and you're telling me all this stuff, and I feel connected with you already."
Yeah.
And then now I left, and like he stayed working.
You'd be surprised how many people would open up to you if you take interest into their story.
Yeah.
They would just open up.
Or maybe you giving it to him was like an act of kindness.
Yeah, now he's gonna be like, "Yo, some random guy at a restaurant gave me this
what
bracelet."
you said though is it resembles like, you know, markings from, you know, his tribes,
Yeah.
you know, like designs and logos and whatnot. It's like, that's pretty neat. That's you know, that's what's up.
Yeah, that's like, to me, one of my favorite like short stories. I just gave this random waiter my bracelet.
Yeah.
And then now he has it. And now he has a piece of me wherever he goes. And now he's gonna tell the story like, "Yeah, some random guy that came to
Where'd you get
the
that
restaurant."
bracelet? Oh,
Yeah, we're
some diner came in.
Yeah.
and-
Maybe he's watching.
Maybe he's watching. I don't know. And so, but yeah, I see what you mean. Like, I would definitely do that.
I would just like,
The
hey,
random.
let's go
Well-
have lunch. Let's.
Yeah. Well, I think como hispanos, like, you hear about like, "Oh, I'm sad," y las mamás are like, "Pues ponte a limpiar." You know what I mean? Like,
Put on the batteries, double A.
you know, algo, right? Like, es que estás ahí in the couch or whatever. And I think now I always say, hey, therapy is awesome. I think I always recommend it to people. I'm like, if you need help, you need help. There's no shame in that. It's sometimes you don't even need the help. Maybe you just need someone to just sit there and talk to.
Yeah.
That you don't know, you know, that has a profession in it and it can help you and give you the tools. And I think therapy is awesome.
Speaking of therapy, what is the asshole story?
Okay, am I the asshole for not letting my coworker stay at my place even though I have the space?
Yes.
Okay, so I, 23 female, live alone in a small 2-bedroom house. One room is mine, the other one is basically my everything room. It's my office, my closet, my storage. Sometimes I just lay on the floor and stare at the ceiling when life sucks. LOL. It is not a guest room. I've lived with horrible roommates before, so I worked really hard to be able to afford my own place, and I love having my space. It's literally my safe little bubble. Anyways, so one of my coworkers, 25 female, got into a huge fight with her roommates and they kicked her out. She was venting at work and I felt bad and I was like, OMG, that sucks. And she even sent her a few places to go look at. I was trying to be helpful without inviting chaos into my life. Later that night, she texts me saying, hey, I was thinking maybe I could crash with you for a few weeks since you live alone and have the space. I literally got that sinking feeling in my chest. No, 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 no. I'm not even close to her. We're cool at work, but we've never even hung out outside of lunch breaks and complaining about our boss. She doesn't know anything about me, and I don't know anything about her. Why would she live in my house? So I replied super politely, like, I totally get that you're going through it, but I really value my space, and I'm just not in the place where I can have someone stay with me. Like I said, I was nice. I didn't ghost her. I didn't ignore her, just said no. The next day, she's acting really weird. Then another coworker tells me, she said, let her be homeless when I have an entire room to myself. Like, girl, first of all, she's staying with her boyfriend. Second of all, I pay to live alone. That's the whole point. I don't want to feel tense or uncomfortable in my own space. I don't want to tiptoe around a person I barely know, and I definitely don't want to deal with just a few weeks turning into a I'm looking for nothing coming through yet, but 2 months. For 2 months. I'm looking, but nothing coming through yet for 2 months. That. Now people at work are acting like I'm the bad guy. Sorry for not letting my coworker move into my apartment because she had a bad fight. I don't know. I feel bad, but also no. So am I the asshole?
Absolutely not.
You know, if I the whole time you're telling the story, and if I was in the homeless girl position, I'd be like, okay, all right, I'll go find something else. And that's it. That's how I would see it.
It's not her responsibility to take care of her, friend that got in a fight with her boyfriend.
Nah.
Again, it's like what she said. She pays for her own place, and people don't want that drama. People want to be not alone, but
Yeah, when I come home to
Nothing.
just
Yeah.
me,
Your space.
myself, and I, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to have problems with someone else, like, hey, you didn't wash the dishes or whatever.
yeah, no, absolutely not. I don't
I would have,
think
when she said, man, that sucks, I would have just walked away. Like,
so. Right?
good luck, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Better luck next time.
Or I would have just be like, no. Like, not even beat around the bush, but just like, no.
Yeah, but no, she has no ties to her. She barely knows her. They've never hung out. So
Yeah, it's just a coworker.
what's the big deal? No,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's like,
She'd be like, I'm here for the income, not the outcome. You know what I'm saying? That's it. But nah, I wouldn't say she's an asshole. Absolutely not. It's your space. You pay for it. And that'd be different stories. I'll pay the rent. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Come on in. Pay the whole thing. Cause let me live for free.
Yeah.
I'll do that. But nah. She ain't the asshole.
No,
I agree with her.
You don't
I would back her up.
yeah.
I would tell the coworkers, like, man, what y'all talking? Would y'all have her sleep at your house?
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. I'm like, well, why aren't the coworkers offering?
If they're mad at me, then
Why aren't you offering
better
a
idea.
place?
But your daughter's off in college. The room is free. Have her sleep up there.
So it says update.
Uh-huh.
She went to jail.
Oh God.
It said she went to jail. LOL. Don't know what happened, but I feel horrible to say that I laughed. Well, that solved my problem.
Yeah.
Free
Dodgeable.
housing. Free meals, free housing. What else should she
What-
want?
That's so
Do you
funny.
think she purposely went to jail? She couldn't buy her own estate? Man, the hell it is.
She probably just threw a paper towel at a cop. So, oh, thank God, I got a place to sleep.
Right?
Take me.
That's so funny.
It didn't say what she did.
No, it didn't. That's all it said, that she just went to jail.
Dang.
Oh gosh.
What do you think you would go to jail for? You don't got to think
Road
too serious.
rage.
Road rage?
Road rage.
I wouldn't go road rage, but I'd go for any type of driving violation. Probably speeding. That's what I would go
I
to
would
jail
probably like, if someone messes with my kids,
for. Uh-huh.
yeah, I'd be that mom.
What would you go to jail for? Not delivering enough milk.
Probably.
Man.
Probably. Wow, God, I don't know. Again, like I said, road rage.
Uriel has,
Run into somebody's car, like, you cut me off, just ram them from behind or
Uriel
something.
is the worst driver.
Who's
Like,
the driver?
no. When we go on road trips, I have to take a motion sickness pill, and so do the kids. when Uriel's driving and we're going
Dang,
on.
what kind
Yes.
Whose fault is
And
that?
I tell him, I'm like,
road.
babe.
I'm like, I'm just following the road.
No. He thinks that we're driving in a milk truck, like, because they're so big, so
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
don't
but I
feel the
can't drive a
movement.
milk truck fast. I can't do
But
that.
you feel like when he's in the car, I
Yeah.
think that he does the same movements that he does on a milk truck, but that he cannot feel. But we're in a smaller vehicle.
Baby, NASCAR.
And I'm just like, I kid you not, I have every single time we go to Houston, doesn't matter where, if it's over an hour, we're taking a motion sickness pill if he's driving. There's days where I'm like, I'll drive. Like all the kids say that.
if you ain't first, you're last.
Yeah, don't say heck yeah. You're first, you're last. You know, the speed limit is a suggestion. You know, you can go up to 70. That's that's a legal limit. You know, but the car says 140s. You know, so,
Why does it say 140 if you can't go 140?
Yeah, you pay for the truck, got to pay for the whole thing. You know, use it to its full limits.
No, he is the worst driver. I'm sorry.
No, it's like
He
I was
really
like,
is.
dude, I'm literally just following the road. Like,
Yeah.
I turn here.
I've been told
I go-
the same thing.
Yeah, it's like
The same thing.
I just go around this curve. I
Yeah.
stop here, turn there.
Yeah.
Like that's all I'm doing.
Yeah.
No.
And she's like, "Oh my God, you're driving erratically. You're." I feel bad. And I'm like, "What the heck?"
So when she drives, how are you? Are you sleeping?
check it out.
Or?
And I could be driving on a straightaway.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Hey, can you like look at this? See what it says, or whatever on your phone." And she's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm getting so dizzy." He's like, "I can't. I'm gonna throw up." I'm like, dude, I'm just going straight. How-
Yeah. I'm behind the cop. Like,
Oh my God.
No, well, we leave to Dallas in 2 weeks.
yeah.
And I'm planning on driving there and coming back
Mm-hmm.
because
I mean, I'll take a nap.
Yeah.
I'll be passenger princess.
Dude,
Fine by me.
yeah.
Yeah. It's just, sometimes I want to be passenger princess.
Exactly.
sometimes,
I'm,
you know?
I love to drive.
Yeah.
I really do. I think when we went to
No,
Tennessee.
you know what? You'd be like, oh my God. Hold on. You look at Ian, pretend to throw up. You know, like,
Pull the stunt on her, pull the same thing.
No, well, we were on one year. We were on our way to Port Aransas, and Mia threw up because she got car sick. Because this man over here was driving.
She threw up because she wasn't feeling well.
how would valid point.
No,
mean,
no, it was.
There's a different elevation from Lufkin to Port Aransas. You know,
No.
you're closer to sea level at Port Aransas. Here, you're a little bit higher from sea level.
No, it was all him.
The humidity
No,
level.
because
is-
the closer that you get to the equator, the more likely chances that
This is what we think about when we're alone.
Exactly.
There's a stronger gravitational pull the more you go south.
There's more gravity
Y'all
in Port
are just full
Aransas,
of it.
so and but it pulls it out of you.
Full of it.
Yeah, that's common sense. You know, I learned that on Discovery Channel the other day.
Yep.
You know, so
True
it's-
story.
True story. You know, we're not bad drivers. We just have not good passengers.
Just the economy.
Yeah, it's the
economy.
wind, the sun. You know, and our ancestors asked you to blame the sun on everything. So I blame the sun.
Blame the sun on
Yeah, the
everything.
sun and the clouds. You know, and like the shades not shading, whatever.
Well, he can be passenger princess when we go to Dallas because I'm
Bet.
planning on
Okay.
driving the entire way. Because
I'm
we
good with
go to NASCAR.
Yeah.
Yep.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, we all got our T-shirts
Uh-huh.
and super excited. Yeah.
And then when you come back, you're gonna drive like a NASCAR driver because you were just at NASCAR.
Oh my gosh, sir.
I grew up on that. Did you ever watch it? It was on Disney Channel, like Hayden Panettiere. She was like on this huge NASCAR. No, I forgot what it was called. But she was a NASCAR driver.
Okay.
And I loved that movie. I loved it. And I was like, I want to be a NASCAR driver.
You can from going to Dallas.
Yeah, I'm going to be a NASCAR
Try
driver.
it. Check it out.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool. I would totally do that
Do it on the next episode.
on the next episode.
Yeah, this is episode 7. Today we're recording on April 21st, 2025.
I think we leave, when is it, May 3rd that we go?
Yeah.
May 3rd?
Yeah.
And I leave May 9th. No, yeah, May 9th
Oh my goodness.
is when I leave.
You leave the 9th
Yeah.
That's so
for
exciting.
how many days? A week and a half?
10?
A week and a half, yeah.
That's
11 days.
exciting.
Nice.
I'll be out there making pizzas.
With your sister, right?
Yeah, with my
She's
sister.
excited.
Oh, yeah, we're ready. I'm counting down the days.
Oh.
I'm telling my manager every day, hey, remember, I'm gone.
I'm leaving.
I'm leaving. All right, just to let you know. The general manager came back from his vacation. He went to Germany, Italy, and somewhere else.
Oh, wow.
Like
Nice.
half work, half vacation. I was like, that's what's up. And I told him, yeah, I'm leaving too. He's like, where are you going? I was like, I'm going to Italy. He's like, oh, that's what's up. And there's a parent company in Italy from where I work for. And I was like, yeah, well, I'm there. I'm going to clock in a couple hours, you know, so I'm not too broke. He's like, hey, if they let you, go for it. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Sure, why not?
And so I'm going to give me a couple hours in while I'm in Italy. You know,
That's
while,
so
while
neat.
everybody's asleep, I'm gonna get like 4 hours in.
Nice.
Yeah, give me some gas money or some pizza
Well,
money.
our neighbors work for this huge AC, or what is it, air
Coverings.
company, and they're always going on trips. They went to Paris. They've gone to Las Vegas. They've gone to
Costa Rica.
Costa Rica.
And these are company.
Their company pays for
trips.
it. I'm like, where do I apply?
Right there. Just
I know. I'm like, I need to go
go.
apply.
I know.
And I tell him, I'm like, your company's huge.
Yeah.
And I tell him, like, can you just tell them that you want to sell milk to like Italy,
Yeah.
so we can go to Italy like on a big conference trip, you know,
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
something.
absolutely.
You got to make sure the package gets there safely.
Yeah.
That's what you got to
Oh.
do.
I know. I'm gonna go apply so I can go.
But cool. And with that, we say God bless.
Yes. Thank y'all. Bless.
You.